Hello, everybody, and welcome to Becoming Invincible podcast. I am your host, Talia, and I am so excited to have you here. This podcast is to reframe your mindset, challenge those limiting beliefs that you may have when you're navigating all the situations in your life. And I'm here to give you tools to help you navigate them in such a healthy way and to harness your personal power that we tend to lose along the way. So settle up, get ready, grab a coffee, and get ready for some juice in each episode as I throw you what life has thrown me and we can navigate this shit together. Mic's not working. Oh my god. Okay, my mic is not working, and yeah, but it's all good. I had to turn it on and then I wasn't sure if it was actually connected. It was like a whole thing. Gosh, I have pink hair, as I was saying, because I decided to just do something different. Can't really tell in this light because there's so much glare and stuff, and it probably actually looks really horrible, to be honest. Anyway, but it's a cotton candy. I always seem to not have my hair done when I want to record my podcasting, but who cares? We're here for the advice and to learn things. So today's episode, I decided to do, because it is something that people do have a lot of question around, how to gain self-trust. I do talk about this throughout my podcast show, but I haven't really done an episode specifically tailoring to gaining self-trust with yourself. It is hard to do. That's one of those things that it's easier said than done, but it is actually physically hard for us to do that when we're experiencing things. So maybe I'll just go into how do you know if you don't have enough trust in yourself, is where you're constantly always asking for people's opinion on things. Should I wear this today? Like, how do I look in this? Or should I wear this dress? Now, it's okay to do that. It's okay. I do that. Like where oh my God, I'm not really sure what to wear. So I'll put each outfit on and take photos and send it to my closest friends. And I'm like, what do you think? Because they're always going to view you so differently to how you view yourself, because a lot of the time it does go back into how we were brought up, what we experience in our life, and also what you sort of subscribe to whilst you're watching people, like as in like you're watching social media or you're watching certain shows, things like that. Everything that you're doing in your life really does influence you, and that makes up of how much trust you have in yourself. So in that example that I just gave, you know how when people's votes come in and they're like, oh, I actually like this one, there's always going to be more votes on an outfit, okay? And they're not going to be aligned with your votes. All right. And that's what we've got to understand here. You're asking for advice, but you intuitively, whether you're aware of it or not, you know which one you want to wear. You know which outfit. Right? When you do that and you're like, oh, I don't know what to wear. Like, fuck, what do you think? Like, oh my gosh, you're asking someone else's opinion, which is completely fine. But if you really just kind of sat with yourself a little bit to go, what do you actually feel that you want to wear? What should you wear? You know, depending on where you're going, things like that. You're actually already going to make up your own mind. And I know some people listening might go, oh my God, you're actually so right. I have had like multiple situations, or a situation at least, where if someone voted the blue dress over the red dress, you're onto the red dresses. Even though you're like, oh, I really want to wear that one though. Sometimes whether you're strong in yourself or not is the answer you're going to choose. So for me, I was very much like this when I was in my people pleasing days. And I would ask that, right? And I'd be like, yep, okay, so I'm solid on the red dress. Like, I actually do want to wear that one. But everyone votes the blue dress. I was always like, oh, well, maybe everyone's right, so I'll go blue dress, even though I really wanted the red one. Very common. Don't hate yourself. It's very normal. So that's what I would do, but I really wanted to wear the red one. So really, why are you asking, right? But I didn't have enough self-trust in myself to make that decision. Whereas now when I do it, I'm like, okay, I'm actually really thinking this outfit. I feel confident in that thing. I don't know. I wonder what my friends think. These are the options I'm really thinking and I'm torn between. Which do you think? And sometimes there's actually been one case where people voted a different outfit to what I wanted. And I was like, you know what? I'm actually just going to go this one. I like the feedback because I just really wanted to see what people thought. But I still acknowledge if I'm leaning towards one of them, I literally will just do that one. Like, so this is where people aren't really aware in themselves enough, right? And people might be listening and be like, what the hell, Talia? Like, that doesn't even mean shit. It really does. So when you're trying to figure out what to wear, but then you decide to override your decision and go with other people's, you're breaking trust with yourself, because you're telling yourself by showing an action, because we are a relationship we have with ourselves. If you don't like you and if you don't like your company, how are you ever meant to blossom in a relationship completely? And when I say that, I just mean, like, if you can't be completely comfortable with you and enjoy your your presence, your company, how can you expect a partner to do that? Or how can you expect your friends to do that? And I know there's people going to be like, oh, well, I have a beautiful relationship, Tiles, but I really like self-loathe myself. Okay. I'm not saying that you can't have a relationship. You definitely can. But then you're going to have a little bit of cracks happening in your relationship where you'll probably have a little bit of intimacy issues, where, because you don't think so highly of yourself, it's going to show up in your relationship in a different way, where you're going to have intimacy issues. Now, I don't mean just sex. We can all take our clothes off and dramas, right? I'm talking where it's like actually facing each other and really having connecting conversation, hard conversation, doing things that's essential to both of you. Like, it's not always in like a sex perspective. I think when everyone thinks of intimacy, it's like sex. When intimacy is connection and how much you appreciate each other, how much attention you're getting, and how much time you spend time together instead of in the same room. You're watching your show, he's watching his show, or like he's gaming and you're working, or he's gaming and you're watching something. Like, that is definitely, I love that. That is really good too. But you're not actually spending time with each other as well. You're just decompressing together. So if there's no real connection and having that intimacy, then it's going to show up that way. Because if you don't believe in yourself and if you don't have confidence within you, you don't look at you and go, you know what, I'm actually really happy with me. Like, I know there's always going to be parts of me that I want to critique, but I'm really glad that I get to be me. And if there's no sense of that, then it's going to come out in different ways in your life. That's how that works. So you're going to have cracks into your relationship where maybe you can't be as intimate with him. Like, yeah, cool, you can take your clothes off and have sex. There's like friends with benefits. But what differentiates between having an actual relationship is the connection, is the intimacy of like being together and actually being vulnerable. And vulnerability is a really hard thing a lot of people struggle to do. And it's massive in a relationship. It's how connects us, right? So that's how that can play out, but also it can play out with like if you're single with your friends, you can't really truly trust your friends properly. There's like a sense of you that's like, I'm not really sure if I can really trust that person. Like, I'll have them just at like hands distance. And that's not really a friendship at all. If you can't really trust them, what's the point in actually having friends? You're not confiding in them because you don't feel like there's a sense of trust in that, So that's where that shows up too. So even though you're like, oh, I self-loathe myself, but like I have really good friend group, well, then maybe you don't have complete deeper connections with those friends as what you may think. Because again, a lot of this stuff isn't conscious, it's unconscious. We don't realize we're doing it. Now, without going down the self-development like trail here, because I really don't, I try not to do that in my podcast show, but I know I do. It's a lot to get your head around as well if you're new here and new to this stuff. So I try to keep it really as honest and like trying to be straightforward. That's why maybe sometimes it might come across like I'm being held blunt with stuff, because when people don't know me, this chick, like, she's a bit full on, or she's a bit, and there are things in myself that I've had to work through in my life, because that has happened where people go, shit, she's a bit full on, or like she's always happy there. She mustn't actually be real. Like, that's not real life that she's happy all the time. Like, no one's that positive. What the fuck? And believe it or not, yeah, no one is that positive all the time. But then as soon as I have like I'm just not having as like a today's just like numb, everyone has the fucking thing to say about it, right? So I really don't want to come across like, you have to, no. I'm just trying to support you guys, right? Always am. That's how you understand self-trust, is where you're constantly seeking other people's approval or opinions. So like, yeah, with what to wear, like making decisions, like I'm not really sure, and completely leaving it up to someone. I don't know where to eat, babe. It's like, that's the running joke with like women, like, oh, she doesn't know where she wants to eat. Most of the time we actually kind of do. But then it's like, oh, I don't know, maybe you can pick, because we always want a man to lead, and we don't actually be honest in that, and men don't know that. So then they're like, oh, okay. We do it also in not such a good way as well. We can just be a bit more straightforward when it comes to partners and stuff. When it comes to where to eat, you're just like, I'm not really sure, but like you're hankering for like a burger, or you're like really wanting nachos or something, and then you don't actually converse that. You're not really saying that's actually what you're feeling for, but you are like, oh, whatever you want is okay. Again, you're fawning and you're like, oh no, it's all right. Like, it doesn't matter what I need. Because sometimes we really don't mind, but then other times it's like, oh, actually, I kind of was feeling for sushi and I didn't really want a burger. Oh, well, they're happy, so I'm happy. I don't know. So there's like so many stories we tell ourselves as well to make what we do in a situation feel better as well. So what to do in these situations? So that's when you realize you don't really have much self-trust and you don't really think much of yourself and allowing other people to dictate your life. So what to do is start to bring your power back. Okay, so what's really common these days when we need to start to bring our power back into us and stay in our power, when you hear those phrases, anyone who watches The Secret Life of Mormon Wives will fucking get what I'm talking about, and all those sort of reality shows, because it's really funny about reality TV actually these days, slight tangent, but it's relevant, where like I notice there's always a amount that you can consume before you start to cast limiting beliefs on yourself, right? I do believe reality TV or men like gaming, I really do believe those things are very good for us to decompress. But when we're doing them so much, or we're like constantly soaking in that stuff, that's when we can start to have a lot more limiting beliefs, which means that we can become quite negative when we soak so much into reality TV, into like true crime. I know true crime girlies, that's also can plummet your energy, and then gaming can for guys. And this is where if you're consuming too much, you go, I don't have a problem. I can do game every fucking day and I'm fine. It's like, but you're then ticking over into your dopamine. And because you get such a dopamine hit, you're craving that dopamine from gaming. It's like reality TV women's like, I'm actually really good, like, and true crime, I'm actually totally fine. But then it's like you're ticking over into, but now it's giving you dopamine, which dopamine is happy hormone. So it sounds weird to say you're getting off on it, but like you're getting the satisfaction you're needing. So you're consuming more of it because you're loving the fact that is boosting your dopamine, right? When you can actually boost your dopamine for so many other things. Okay, so this is where it can kind of cross a line. But I'm all for, if you need to decompress. I had like such a crazy time with the kids, I'll literally put on TV and I'll literally just watch it. Like at the moment, I've even been watching Big Brother, that's now come back on TV, and I love that it's like the old one. Yes, I was a Big Brother fan back in the day. So I've been watching Big Brother. It's okay to do those things. It's all about consumption. You can live your fucking life. We're not here for a long time type of thing. Anyway, coming back, we need to bring our power back. Constantly binging TV shows, whatever they are, constantly going to the gym even. I want to be healthy and healthy, but you're overdoing it. Like you're constantly there, constantly monitoring your food. When you are constantly like in the drama as well, that can show up too. Like, oh my God, like, can you believe she said that about you? Oh my God. That can give us as a woman a dopamine hit too, because you'll like hearing the drama because it doesn't involve you, or maybe it could. And either way, it starts to get dopamine hit and you're like, oh my God, yeah, tell me more. Oh my God, can't believe that's happening. And I started to see that a lot when I was going through a lot with the girls' biological. There was a lot of shit airing and actually becoming public. I did have friends around me be like, tell me more. Oh my God, did you read this comment on, I can't believe, because like it went to the news and everything. And it was like, oh my God, can you believe these people judging you? I kind of want to start ranting on the comments because I know who you are. And I really want to jump on the bandwagon for you. And they thought that they were being a good friend to me, wanting to protect me because they're just reading an article, knowing it's about me, this whole fucking thing. But they're actually consuming so much into the dopamine that I felt like my relationship with them was only just about that. And then when things started to settle down, our relationship started to dwindle, which was really confronting for me. It was really hard because I didn't feel like, oh my God, yay, like in the fucking news. I felt really like, holy shit, my life is crumbling and I don't know what the fuck to do with my life. Like, what is going to happen to me? So yeah, it's very crazy pants situation. So we can actually, when we start to outsource, and even scrolling social media, TikTok is a big one. where it's like, oh my gosh, they're wearing that, or like, I've got to be like them, or that's the trend now, whatever it is, you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. That is where you're tying too much of your self respect. So, like, you think of yourself as a person. So that's your self respect. And you're tying that to whatever you're seeing. So you're outsourcing, is what it's called. So you're like, oh my God, I got to keep up with the Joneses. My house isn't like that. I got to have my house like that. I got to have that thing. I got to have drive a car like that. Because I know that debt is a very big and normalized thing to get into, when really we should start to take a step back. You're like, holy crap, I really shouldn't have racked up so much, right? I know it comes with a lot of guilt and shame with stuff like that, but that's where that starts to be like, personal work with a coach and stuff. So turning it back to how, like, what to do and things like that. So that's how you sort of know as well of like, oh my God, I'm outsourcing. You're trying to seek validation. So through my life as a child, I would seek a lot of validation through my mum, because she is someone that I didn't get a lot of attention from. She didn't show up in a way of how I needed her. And that's something that I've had to work on. And so I would always seek for her approval, and really she couldn't care. And she didn't really give me any type of approval, any type of way. So we can do that also and seek approval from our partner, from our friends. Growing up in teen years is very normalized, even go through where they're seeking, oh, well, I want to keep up with the Joneses. Like, I have this, or yours is a fake one, or I'm going to play with this friend today, like, not you. All those push and pull, everyone's trying to be their own person, but then they want to be liked and validated. Very normal. I'm about to go into and blow people's minds with this. So that can be very push and pull, very hard time. So that is like a thing as well. So you're not always just seeking validation or seeking how you see yourself, or like doing all those things from stuff like reality TV, having things. You do it through people as well. And it's a very big detriment. It's not a lifestyle you can live forever, because you get completely into debt. I've seen people do it. I've helped people try to see themselves kindly and come from love, and working from a lot of shame in that area, because it's really hard. So how I'm going to blow your mind with all that stuff as well, it's normal for your kids to want to seek validation from friends, keeping up with the Joneses that way. When the bullying starts happening, because they're trying to make their way into the world. And we can all resonate this when we were like a teen or a child, where we're working our way in and we're like, okay, well, I want to be liked by that person. Now, the reason why I'm going to blow your mind with it is when we come from a standpoint of like, I've got to be liked by this person, or I want to fit in with this in crowd or with this friend group. This comes from back into hunter gathering days, where we were all tribal by nature. We were a tight knit community once upon a time in the village, hunter gathering days. If you did something wrong by that village, you were cast out. Right. And that was your survival back in that time. So when you're casted out, you're then off with your kids or alone as a person, being like, what the heck? I can't come back into that tribe. And they won't take you because you disrespected them, whatever it is. You would die because you need help with, if you didn't have a man or kids or whatever, like, how were you to survive and get food? You know what I mean? And you would need a man to help you provide, because he would go and grab the line while you're taking care of the kids, or you're taking care of finding berries and food. So this is where it comes back to that. Now, the reason why it's like, how is this even relevant? We're not living in a hunting village or in that way. Obviously, today, like day and age, there is people out in the world still living like that. But because we're so evolutionalized as the decades and years have gone on, how this is actually relevant is because that was a time, and that is happening, that does happen. Even though we don't live like that, we're very advanced now and things like this, it all comes into materialistic stuff. So the reason why for kids and stuff, like, I've got to be liked, I'm going to sit with these people now, and their friends are like, what? Is because that is from that time. But because we're so evolutionized now, it doesn't seem like that's relevant, right? But it just shows up in a different way, unless if we really create self awareness around it, and you start to heal that part of you where there's people pleasing or becoming your own person. Because part of that time, there was no option to become your own person. Like, okay, I'll make it on my own. It was life or death in that time. Your brain is still there. So when we're living in like a lot of high stress states, cortisol pumps through like on average a human's body like every 15 minutes. Okay. That's the stats. Fucking crazy pants, right? We're always doing everything. It's got to be quick. We're so used to things being quick. We've got to get there. There's so much pressures now with jobs and things like that. Oh, you've got to work 24/7, care for kids, feed them, look how good doing it. Plus, you have to be a sexy wife, blah, blah. I only know from the woman's side of things, obviously. So, any men listening, I know you guys do have your own shit that you grow up with as well. But again, I'm not a man, so I don't really know. But a lot of the time, it is like, be quiet, you're a man. You're not meant to experience like fucking feelings. You're meant to be like a robot, basically, right? And shove them down. This whole fucking thing, it's all lies, but you know what I mean? So, this is how that all ties together. Okay. I really try not to lose people because I probably have, but it's a lot to get your head around. But because our brain is still back in that time of hunting gathering days, it still shows up, but just in a different way because of how evolution has happened. So it shows up in like, oh, you're once friends and then you'll be mean to them to be in the in crowd because your brain feels like, oh my God, if we get castrated, we're dead. When really that's not actually the truth, right? When you're looking at your child and you're like, why are you being nasty to your friend? Like, just, it's okay to be your own person. We've got to help them with that because they don't feel that way. They feel hunter gathering days, I'm going to be fucking dead. And we can feel like that as an adult as well. Like, prime example is motherhood. You become a mum, it's a great time, it's an exciting time. You go and find a mum's group, you try and vibe with people. There's like an app called Peanuts as well. I'm not sure if that's like worldwide for people who listen over in other countries, but here in Australia, there's like an app called Peanut, and you literally can find other mums in your area. It's literally like Tinder for mums. And I know some people have actually met really good friends from that way. I've met some really good, amazing friends on Instagram just by following each other. That's why I'm so like pro social media stuff because it can be used for the good. It just gets such a demonized thing. The more we can hate on things and be in the negative, the easier it is actually to control. Which is will be another fucking episode, I think, because I could go really into that. That was so relevant because when you go, oh, I really want the red dress, like back to that, I want the red dress, but they're saying blue. Okay, I'll just do the blue. That is partly of that. That is how that shows up. And it's so subtle, isn't it? It's like, what the fuck, Tiles? Yes, it is because you're choosing to override your decision on the red dress to go with the blue one because all your friends go, no, you look hotter in the blue one. Oh, okay, I'll just go with them, even though I want to do that. Because for there's a part of you that's like, but if I was to pick that red dress, holy fuck, my friends would hate me. Same situation, but it was life or death back then. It's not life and death now. So we've got to reprogram our brain and our body to go, it ain't life or death now. I'm not going to die and my friends will not kill me if I wear the red dress. Okay. That's how relevant that whole thing is. How we can sort of bring this all into our life and let it flow in, and how we can have more trust in ourselves, how we can make more decisions, and how we can be also more comfortable to be our own person. Okay. What I want you guys to do is firstly, actually commit to the things that you say. Okay. You set an alarm for 6 a.m. and you're going to go to that gym and comes to the 6 o'clock time. You're like, you know what? I actually need more sleep. I'm going to buzz it, like stop it. You are breaking trust with yourself because you made the commitment before you went to bed. I've laid out my clothes and I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do a workout. When it comes to it, oh no, actually, I think I'll do a workout today, but just not right now. I'll pause it. You're breaking trust because you've committed, but then you've not followed through. So you're telling yourself, oh, but it doesn't matter. So you're telling yourself you don't matter. But you will be important at some part of the day. When we can reframe it from those point of views, and I know a lot of people could be like, oh my God, this is so overdramatic. If it's so overdramatic, what's the harm in doing it for a month and seeing how your life changes, right? Because you're telling yourself that you matter and you're committed to working out whatever it is that you're desiring to do at the gym. And so the second thing that you can do to how you can gain trust in yourself is also honoring your boundaries with people. Okay, so when people cross boundaries, you're kind of like, I'm fed up with this behavior, but you're not doing anything about it. You are significantly telling yourself that you don't matter. Again, it doesn't matter, or I'll give them a chance, and it keeps happening. So instead of those sort of things that you're saying to make yourself feel better, because that's what's happening, oh, one day they'll remember, or one day they'll figure it out. No, you honoring your boundaries and be like, okay, this is my thing. Yeah, I'm going to do that. It's when people are crossing your boundaries with something, you need to like honor yourself and be like, this isn't okay. So this is breaching a boundary. I'm not really sure where your head's at or where you see this friendship or where you see this relationship, whatever it is, and literally just being like, look, but you're breaching a boundary here. And I'm actually being really courteous about it, but I really need to bring this up because this is not okay. I don't condone this behavior, whatever the behavior is. Like people being hot and cold. You don't condone like being lied to. There'd be so many things. We're all so different. We live different lives. So I don't really have just one example. So whatever the boundary that you have for yourself, it's to help you feel respected. Because if you don't pull people up, they're going to continually disrespect you. A lot of the time, they don't realize they're disrespecting you, but there is a lot of that whole like, oh my God, like you're being disrespectful and you've not really said anything to them. So we have this thing of like, oh no, but I did tell them when you actually didn't. You're just feeling the emotion. So this is the thing as well, where it's like you need to honor your boundary and like whatever it is, because people intentionally don't want to override the boundary. They're not doing it on purpose. There is a 1% out there that people do that. If you're not standing up and being like, okay, I need you to respect that. I want to spend time with my kids or something. I don't know. Then people don't like, until you voice that, people don't know that. Right. And so it's always coming into, unless if you voice, people don't know. Right. But we have the tendency to be like, it's the feeling becomes more than we actually state it. And we expect people to read our face or read our vibe when really people just can't do that unless if they really know you. No one's going to do that. Being very honest in your boundary, going back over, is how you can gain more trust in yourself and respect yourself and everything like that, is saying and doing what you intend to do. And also don't let people breach your boundaries and don't let yourself override your boundary, because when you allow people to constantly override your boundaries, you're overriding your own. Right. So it's leading by example. And then this is the thing as well. If you have children, they're seeing you do that and allowing, they're going to do that. Right. So if you can't do it for yourself right now, because I completely understand when you're in that headspace, can you do it for your kids if you have them, or can you do it for the people in your life? And you'll see like how this shift like changes as well for people who it doesn't feel good to other people that feels good to, because not everyone's going to agree with that. Okay. Third thing that you can do as well to gain self trust is how you treat yourself. What's your relationship with you? What do you like? Do you drink enough water? Do you take any supplements that could benefit you, that you know of that could benefit you? Do you work out? Do you move your body? Because you don't have to just exercise to move your body. You can like dance. You can go for a walk. It moves all energy around in your body. It's very energetic. Your skincare, like how do you have a skincare regime? The amount of things I found out last year that not every woman actually has a skincare routine. I didn't know that because I went into hairdressing straight out of high school, and then I had a beautician friend. So literally I knew what a skincare routine was. Like I just developed one. She gave me, like I bought from her with products. I recommended hair care for her. So we both like had such a regime with our beauty, but I understand that not everyone does. So could you work towards getting one, or even a good hair care routine, like using a good product for hair, however that looks for you? Do you moisturize at night? Not all of us do, because we're like so busy or it's something we don't even think about. It's how you're looking after yourself. That becomes such a big factor. Sometimes if you just focus on one of these things, you'll be surprised at how much your energy, mood, and things in your life start changing. And we don't realize it. It's nothing crazy pants I've given you to do and to think about. It's stuff that we just overlook in everyday life. Oh, fuck, that's not going to help. That's not. Yes, it is. It all comes down to you as a person. You got to take care of you. That is part of self-respect and how you want your kids to grow up thinking that's normal. Because otherwise, like, there's kids out there that grow up thinking that showering isn't normal. To me, that's bare minimum. Right? Like, but they don't know what they don't know. It's not always trying to worry about other people. It's about you. How do you actually feel in a day? How are you feeling today? Have you asked yourself that ever? Probably not. How are you feeling? Do you feel happy? If you don't feel happy, how can you get back to happy? Because that's actually probably the most successful feeling you can feel is, you know what, my life isn't so perfect, but I'm actually genuinely happy. Because there's a lot of people that have a lot of money out there that aren't happy. I've met them. So this is where it kind of comes into like, what are your values about you? Just really getting back to that. What do you want your life to look like? I don't actually really like that question, to be fair, but if that works for you, amazing. I always like to ask myself, what do you want your life to feel like? Because when we focus on actually how you want your life to feel, then it becomes something that you like to look at. I really believe that. So it's really just focusing on how do you want your life to feel every day? Because I've met some people that go, you know what, my life doesn't look like much, but I'm fucking the happiest I've ever been. I find that so much more inspiring when people tell me that, or when I see that in people. Hopefully this helps you guys really gain that self-trust and what it is and what we can do to help. The more that people listen and share and things like that, the more I'm actually able to bring more people onto the podcast. Because so far I've only had Courtney. My 2 other guest speakers fell through just with time of life and things like that. I haven't had a chance to like reach out to people to be like, hey, and bring them on the podcast. So it will be happening soon. I was trying to like work out how my schedule is and working out how other people's schedule is. It can just be a little bit crazy. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and just, yeah, really, really appreciate it.